a company, always on the run, a destiny. Oh, it's the rising sun. I was born, a shotgun in my hands, behind the gun, I'll make my final stand. Yeah, and that's why they call me bad company. I can't deny. Bad company till the day I die. Until the day I die. Until the day I die. Rebel souls, deserters we've been called. Chose a gun and threw away the sun. Now these towns, well, they all know our name. The death punch sound is our claim to fame. And that's why they call me bad company. I can't deny. Bad company till the day I die. Until the day I die. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, blood for blood. We've all gotta die. We've all gotta die. And that's why they call me bad company. I won't deny. Bad company till the day I die. Until 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 the day I die.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Stevie, the Military Biker. Welcome to the live stream. Today, as you guys know, we've got an absolute legend in the motor vlogging community, an all-round top bloke, as we say in the UK. World record holder, obviously biking legend within the community. Again, let me bring him on the show. It's been a long time coming. Let's get Mr. Adam Sandoval on the show. Hello.
Hey. What's going on, man?
How you doing, mate? Thanks for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
No worries, mate. Hopefully you can hear me okay and see me and all that sort of stuff. You're coming through loud and clear, so that's cool. Mate, thank you again. Obviously, you had a bit of issues yesterday, but again, thanks for rearranging for today. I appreciate that, mate. And obviously, all the guys who are in the side chat and watching, absolutely appreciate that as well. So thanks a lot, man.
I apologize, man. It was a little bit out of my control there yesterday, so don't let that happen. Sorry I missed you, but I'm glad we're connecting today.
No, get it, mate. Absolutely. Hey, shit happens, as you say. So, you know what I mean? So, mate, just a little bit of how the show's going to run, if that's okay. Obviously, I'll ask you some questions and what have you. And there's a load of guys in the side chat who are itching to ask you some questions. If that's okay with you, we'll get them on the show later on. And once we've gone through it, mate. So, you know, hopefully we've got you for a little bit of time.
That doesn't hurt anything, does it?
No, mate, does it not? Look, we're already going with that, so we're good. Let me say cheers anyway to you, mate, and to everybody watching.
Chin chin.
All right, so, mate, just for those who don't know who you are, because obviously we're streaming around the world right now, UK, Australia, etc., etc. Would you mind just telling us about you, mate, and your background and stuff like that, if that's okay?
Sure. So my name's Adam Sandoval, and I like to ride motorcycles, man. I have a YouTube channel that really is about my life and all my passions and things going on. But it really is surrounded mainly by travel and charity. Those are my two biggest passions. So we do all different types of motorcycle travel to best roads and destinations, national parks, restaurants, bars, rallies, all that kind of thing. And we always try to find a way to give back to our veterans in the process.
And I personally appreciate that, mate, because I'm a serving British soldier, obviously not an American soldier, but you know I've fought alongside your guys for the last 24 years, and you know it's been an experience, shall we say? So I personally appreciate everything you do, mate, for the vets in the States. I think it's fantastic, especially you know with the bikes that you've given away in the past, the road trips that you do with the veterans, and especially with the campground, mate, the KRiver. Obviously, you know, veterans stay free. That's correct, isn't it?
It's correct, yes, sir.
Yeah, and you've got a special cabin as well if the guys with disabilities and stuff like that as well, eh?
Yeah, we're just finishing it. It should be done. I'm looking at it right now. It should be done here. I'm hoping this week, this upcoming week. But yeah, it is fully set up for disabled veterans. If you're missing limbs, if you're stuck to a chair, any type of major disability, it's set up to give you as much freedom as you can possibly have.
That's fantastic, mate. That is really, really cool. There's not much of that in the UK, that's for sure. So, again, thanks for doing what you do for the vets in the States, mate.
I'm a thankful civilian, man. That's it. For the brave women who go out there and sacrifice. You know, I didn't make that sacrifice, so least I can do is serve those who did.
Brilliant. All right, let's get into it, man. I've got some questions lined up. Obviously, I used the paper from work because why not? It's free. So you know, so let's get on, man. Let's get some questions on the go, and then later on we'll get the guys in who have been waiting patiently to ask you some questions as well. So, all right, so mate, going back 6 years or so, I stumbled upon your channel when I arrived in Canada. It was just it appeared on YouTube, and I was like, oh, who's this guy? So check you out, mate. And at that point, you were on your road trip across the states to every single Harley Davidson dealership. So I just want to ask you, how the hell, you've probably been asked this 1,000 times over, but what made you do that and why, you know, visit every single Harley Davidson? How did you come up with the plan for that and why?
You know, this is a long story, but I'll give you the short version. I did write a book that gives the nitty-gritty details, but yeah, the long short is it was an idea I had. It was pillow talk with an ex-wife. Her and I had a really nasty divorce, and you know, I thought, you know, I've got an opportunity to now do and chase whatever it is that I feel in my heart. And you know, I was in my mid to late 30s, and I really regretted never serving in the military. So I wanted to find a way to give back to those who served. And my passion was riding motorcycles, and I rode with my dog Scooter. And, so I had kind of come up with this idea that I'd like to be the first person to ride to every Harley Davidson dealership in the country, one single trip. Leave home, don't come back, live on the road until you've hit them all. And, with my newfound freedom and, heartbreak and other things as well. And like I said, I details, but the short of it is I took a bad situation and just tried to chase a dream to help veterans. And it just turned into so much even more than I ever dreamt myself.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I stumbled across you when you were in the middle of doing that sort of thing, or you may have been, recording it and then putting it on, but you weren't actually doing it at the time. But I must admit, I mean, doing a couple of Harley Davidson dealerships in your own sort of state is a bit of a gruel. And to do it, mate, across the whole of the states. I mean, how many? That's crazy. As you know, the American country is huge. So how many actual dealerships did you visit? But just for the guys that don't know.
Sure. In the year I finished, it was all of them. Well, actually, the year I finished, I think there was only 700 left, but I hit 702. Two of them had closed after I hit them.
Wow.
So 702 different locations across America. It took me coast to coast like 14 times.
14 times across the states, 14 times.
9 north to south, 9.
Jeez, wow, that's an effort, mate. That is an absolute effort. Hopefully, you had a good seat on the Warhorse. It is the Warhorse, isn't it?
It is the Warhorse, and the seat was definitely subpar. It became a challenge. I think I was even a year in, maybe a little less than a year in, and a dealer was like, "Hey, we noticed the seat on your bike. We want to gift you this new, beautiful touring seat." And I just said, I don't want to turn down a gift, and I'm very thankful for the thought of it, because that's a very serious, thoughtful gift. I said, but I got to finish on this old saddle. Me and the saddle have had too many arguments.
Yeah.
Got to finish it on this saddle. So I stuck it out. I did on that old 2x4 of a seat, and I'm glad I did.
Wow, mate. Yeah, and I bet there's a hell of a lot of veterans around the Americas that are definitely thankful for what you did, mate. Because you raised quite a lot of money doing it, mate, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, to date, I think we're a little over 1.2 million in cash and gifts to veterans, and we're not stopping. We're just
that's phenomenal, mate. 1.2 million. That's again, a credit to you, mate, and well done. Fantastic. And there's a lot of guys that have benefited from that, I would imagine. That's fantastic. So let me move it on from the Harley sort of side of life. I know I say that with the next question, really. I remember also watching you sort of what I perceived as your sort of lowest point when you couldn't ride anymore because you were injured and stuff like that. And at that point, Harley did what they did. Was that the lowest point you'd been in the last sort of while, the whole time you'd started doing the channel and the riding and stuff like? Because to me, it seemed you were like, pretty bummed out, mate, and rightly so,
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a low point. I mean, I had some low points in the beginning of this trip that were pretty tough before it started to, take root, where I felt like maybe I was a failure, and I felt like I maybe wasn't doing my part or what I thought should be my part. There were some pretty low times in the beginning when you don't know if you're going to have success. When Harley cut my contract, it was a low time and it hurt, but I knew that I was doing a good thing at that point. And I felt fulfilled in what my mission was and what I've already accomplished. And I felt confident in the ability to accomplish stuff in the future. So it was a big blow because, in this, line of, social media, whatever you want to call it, personalities, nothing's guaranteed. And, things can go any way. And I was in the process of just learning still at that point, how all this worked. We were kind of, inventing a new path. And, I didn't know that it could be what it became. And in Harley dropping me, I just, I felt very disappointed. I felt like giving them a lot of value, and I felt like I was doing a good thing for them. I felt like doing a good thing for my riding culture, and I felt like I was doing a good thing for my country. So when they pulled out, they definitely left me disappointed, but by no means was I broke.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it was it looked to everybody that you were at a really really low point, and you were getting all the messages from all your fans, and I thought that was fantastic. I mean, like you said, it was massive at that point. You traveling all up and down the country, and I think you said you were close to like nearly 500,000 followers at the time, when you obviously were going across country and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah,
Jeez.
and now we're at like 750,000. So we've grown since then. We've grown, basically 250,000 followers since they did that. That's a pretty large growth, and I feel good about it, man. But yeah, it was a low point for me. It hurt because I just just because I'd given so much to them. You know what I mean? Given everything I had, I truly believed that we were aligned and headed in the right direction. So it did hurt. I'm not going to say it didn't, and it was a low point, and it left me very uncertain with my future. That's what happens, right, in life. And you pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and you either let it drag you down or you get back up and you keep moving.
Absolutely, mate. And let's be honest, you bounce back with a vengeance, and more kudos to you, mate. Most people would have just went, fuck this, I ain't doing this no more. See you later. I'm going to call it a day and go, but fair play to you, mate. You stuck to your guns, and you're reaping the benefits now. Obviously, your dream was sold only the campground, and how's that going? I'm guessing everything's going well. You've had the Stubborn American rallies there, and all the guys turning up for the home Bring It Home rally and everything like that, the world record. Sorry, but yeah, so I guess you've been pretty busy, mate, at the campground, and obviously with the YouTube, it helps subsidize, people coming into the ground and stuff like that, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a full circle. I absolutely love the campground. That's where we're sitting right now. I'm out here in my back. That's kind of my front yard back there. I don't know. It's
not a bad view, mate. Let's be honest.
It's not a bad spot to hang out and and enjoy good people with good intentions, and that's the beautiful thing about this place, man. We have never had any real issues. We'll have 3,000 people packed in this campground, and they'll leave come Monday morning. There's not a stitch of garbage on the ground.
That's
surrounded by good, solid people, positive people who all, I think, have the same kind of moral code. So it's been just a wonderful thing.
Yeah. So I must admit, I'll try and get down there one day, mate. I'd love to visit. Obviously, come down, but it's a hell of a long way for me to ride on a Sportster, that's for sure. So I'll have a pretty sore ass, as we say. Definitely. So let me ask you about the Stubborn American, the rally. How did you come up with that idea, and what was the reason behind it?
It just kind of became a theme through my riding and through my struggles. The thing with corporate, like you mentioned, the horrible divorce, the cold weather, being stubborn, and just, people would tell me all the time, man, Adam, it's snowing outside. You can't be riding on the highway. There's literally blizzard plow trucks on the road. And I'm like, I'm going. Like, I got a mission to do today, and I'm going to do it. And, the whole theme of being stubborn has just kind of been a theme and a reoccurring, and it kept showing its face. And then when we, attempted to break this world record for the largest parade of Harley Davidsons, it's a Guinness Book World Record. I failed 3 times, and failing 2 times is one thing, but then you tell yourself that 3rd time, that's the charm. Yeah. And then 3rd time comes and you fail. You start to question, am I going to keep doing this? When do you quit? And, I decided to stay stubborn and keep pushing on. And sure enough, the 4th year, man, we broke that world record. So that's why it became the Stubborn American Party. And it's to remind the rest of the world that if they ever come for our record, we've already got an alignment on a date and a weekend, the 1st weekend of October every year. Bikers are gathering here at the KRiver Campground. And should the need be to break another record, we will do it. And until then, we just party pretty hard.
So you've already got a preemptive strike ready to go just in case somebody comes in. That's brilliant. That's fantastic. But let's talk about the Bring It Home rally, world record. Sorry, was it the Australians or the Greeks that had it beforehand? Wasn't it? I think it was the Greeks, wasn't it?
Greece had it, yeah.
Yeah, Greece had it. Wow. So it must have felt good, mate. Like you say, bringing it home to America. And do you know what? I remember watching it, and I know a load of guys in the side chat. They obviously went, and they said it was absolutely amazing. And I remember the sort of iconic sort of picture with you with your flag behind you in front of the plane, mate, and all the bikes behind you. It was just unbelievable. It was just short of 4,000 bikes. Is that right?
Yeah, 3,497 are what the final count was. Now, there's a lot more bikes than that day. That's what the final count was that we got awarded.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know some of the guys in the side chat have got their patches, their world record holder patches, so they're itching to come in and ask you, no doubt.
It was brutal, brother. I mean, we had more bikes show up than we anticipated. The weather was twice as hot as we anticipated.
Yeah.
A lot of struggles with an event of that size and something that just took wildfire the way it did.
Yeah.
And the guys and girls that have those patches, they earned them. They really did, because it was not easy for anyone.
Well, exactly. And like you say, it's the fourth attempt, and obviously you smashed it at the fourth time, but you don't realize that there was 3 attempts beforehand, and I'm guessing it was pretty close, but obviously not close enough. But for the first time, what was the sort of the first, second, and third? How many was it, close or not close?
No, I think the record was 2,200 something, I believe.
Yeah.
I think the first one we had like 2,000. We were like 200 bikes short, and then the second one we had some really bad weather, and we ended up with like 1,500.
Oh, really?
So actually, then we came back for the third attempt, and I think we had enough riders. We were very close if we didn't, but the logistics got us. That's the hard part about the Guinness Book World Records, not only getting the people together, but then getting them together and performing the ride within their guidelines.
Yeah.
So I think we were very, very close, and I think logistics got us there. And then the fourth time we came back and we crushed it by
smashed it. Yeah, literally smashed it. It must take something to put something like that on me, because like you said, the logistical side of life of it, the project management side of life of it, and putting everything together to make a successful event. And that was down to you, and you were partnered up with, was it Paris Harley Davidson at the time?
Yep.
Yeah, and those guys did all the sponsors that you had at the time, did they have their own little sort of expert to help you out with the planning side of life, or was it literally just you and Paris Harley Davidson that came up, that made it work?
Yeah, it was Paris Harley and myself. We did it together. I had sponsors come in and help financially with marketing budgets and things like that.
Yeah.
But as far as the execution of it, it was a lot of logistics through Paris Harley and then myself, and together we made it happen. That was my second attempt partnering with Paris Harley. I attempted twice earlier with another dealership in Florida. So yeah.
Wow. And fair play, mate. It worked, and you've got the record, So I seen you with the plaque. Where is the plaque in a prime place on the campground?
It is absolutely in a prime place in the campground. Yes.
Yeah, good. Brilliant. So let's talk about Indian. Obviously, we were talking about you being down and at a low point before and whatever, getting dropped by Harley, but then all of a sudden you spring back with a vengeance, and Polaris and Indian, you're now sponsored by them. Is that right?
That is correct. Sponsored by Indian. Yep.
Wow. And they give you a brand new Challenger to play with.
Yeah, that's part of the deal. Yeah, Indian is a cool bike. My sponsorship with them is nothing like my sponsorship was with Harley, though. I mean, just night and day, completely different. When I was with Harley, I wasn't even allowed to put my leg over another bike. If I was in a parking lot and tried out someone's seat and they had a Honda and I sat on their Honda and someone took a picture of it and it got to Harley, I'd lose my contract.
Wow.
They had me locked down, sewn up. And I loved Harley, and I still love Harley. So I was okay with it. But, prior to taking that trip, I owned a Honda. You know what I mean? I owned multiple bikes.
Yeah.
I've always liked multiple bikes. But because I broke this world record on Harley and everybody got to know me on Harley, and I had this relationship with Harley, it kind of became Harley Davidson. And then when I went to another brand, it was like, oh my God, he just, but what they didn't realize is, the only reason I only rode Harley was because I had to. I've always loved multiple brands of motorcycles.
Yeah.
And Indian is my deal with Indian is nothing like that. Indian and I work together, and it's basically they just want me to ride one of their bikes when I want and be honest with the audience about it. They've got zero requirements for me for posting or zero requirements for me for content or anything like that. They just ask that I ride the bike and give a fair and honest review of it as much as I so choose. And that is the type of relationship that I try to do with everybody now. I don't try to do any type of exclusivity type stuff if I can keep from it.
Yeah, I mean that's brilliant though. Like you say about the night and day thing, that is just like you say, night and day, and completely different to Harley and Indian. It just shows the sort of the mark of the man, as it were. You know, it's the difference in, oh no, you can't do that, or to you do what you want, but just, you know, promote this for us. And I think that shows a very good company. You know,
I agree 100%. I mean, they're beautiful to work with. Their machines are beautiful. It's a really nice. There's no pressure, man. They just said, try. If you like it, keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you, that's fine too. And you know, I just happen to like it, and it works out good. So
it is an absolutely gorgeous looking bike, and it just so happens to share. I'm a tank commander by trade, so it just so happens to share the same name as my tank. So I'm like, ooh, I'm out the army in a year, and I'm like, should I get one? Should I get one? I'm like, oh man, you know, because I was like you, I was, you know, Harley sort of mad and always wanted a Harley Davidson, and thought that they were like, you know, a shiny fairy tale bike and all that sort of stuff, because that's the ethos that they've got, and the sort of the what's the word I'm looking for? The thing that, you know, everybody thinks about Harley, whereas Indian and Polaris, everybody forgets about that, because they are still, again, American made, and they produce some amazing bikes, absolutely fantastic bikes. So when I was looking at a potential bike to, like I say, I'm leaving in a year, so I've got to gift myself a nice present. The wife will have something different to say about that, but I think a Challenger is, for me, it's an absolutely gorgeous bike. It really is. And I know one of the guys in the side chat, Salty and Sprinkles, he's got one. You know, and he swears by it. He absolutely swears by it. And he says it's a fantastic bike. And, you know, you do as well now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are some things that I think Indian will never be able, and this is just it, I can be honest and frank, you know, and that's nice. But there's some things that Indian will never, I can't say never because I don't know, but I don't feel would ever compete with Harley on, and that's going to be the soul and the culture. Yeah. I don't think Indian will ever have that type of cult following and that type of just complete soul and utter, you know, unity behind it. But when it comes to performance and when it comes to comfort and when it comes to handling, I mean, it's just a superior machine. There's just no two ways about it. Yeah. I mean, they're just not even close.
I mean, you look at what you've got there, the Challenger, and you look at the Harley Davidson variant of what you get for a bog standard Challenger. You have to pay extra for on the Harley. You know, it's just, it amazes me. You know, you're paying all this money, like you were saying on your video that came out this morning. You pay all this money, $30,000 plus for a bike. Then you've got to spend 10 grand more updating the exhaust, updating the seat, blah blah blah. But with Indian, you get that straight away. You know, you're paying for what you get.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of cases, I mean, you still like to make it your own and modify. But you know, I've got a Harley Davidson road. I've got several Harley Davidsons, but I've got my two main touring bikes are a Harley Davidson Road Glide and an Indian Challenger. Those are my two. I've got about $10,000 into the engine of my Harley Davidson. You know, core kit, cams, tuners, exhaust. You know, everything, every single performance mod you can pretty much get, and it still doesn't run. I mean, upgraded suspension, I mean, everything. And now the bike runs a whole lot faster than it did, and it handles 100 times better than it did. But you just cannot, it just still doesn't handle as good as the Indian, you know. It doesn't.
I think there was again, you mentioned it on your video, and I think there's a sort of a subculture of people thinking that Harley Davidson are 10, maybe 15, 20 years behind everybody else right now, and they're struggling to catch up. And I think with the recent bikes that they're bringing out, maybe it smells a little bit of desperation, you know, to try and catch up with the rest of the bikes. And you're right, mate. They'll never, that culture that Harley Davidson have that built over 100 years will never go away. They'll always be the top of that. But I think they need to have a seismic shift into catch up with the likes of Indian and stuff like that, you know. So what do you think to that?
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct. I think on the technology, they are a little bit behind. I mean, certainly quite a ways behind Indian. You know, I think, you know, off the top of my head, you know, they need to go to just a typical monoshock type system on their touring bikes. They don't need to that old, outdated dual shock rear end. You know, they need to just upgrade their frame altogether. Their frame is not a very well. I think they got a lot of upgrading to do there, and I think they got a lot of upgrading to do in their suspension. Engine wise, you know, the whole liquid cooled, air cooled debate. I don't know. You know, they have put out some good engines. You know, they put out that engine they had, the V-Rod, was a phenomenal engine.
Yeah.
But they put it in the wrong motorcycles. And now, they've got this new engine they're putting in that Pan America. Again, I think a phenomenal engine, but again, in the wrong motorcycles. Put that in something like a line of a Sportster or a Softail or something, that guys can get up on and have fun.
Yeah.
And still carry that kind of, strong masculine look that so many Harleys do.
Yeah, I agree. We have to talk about Pan America. We were discussing this last week on the show, and we were saying about when Obi-Wan Kenobi and his mates went down to Hugh McGregor went down to South America on a live wire, and obviously the entourage that had to follow with that. We think, the guys and I think that they missed a trick big time with not doing that with the Pan America, because the live wire is let's be honest, mate, who's got $36,000 to just go and spend on a live wire and then take a trip to South America? Nobody in the right mind is going to do that.
Right. Yeah. I think that, I've never thought of that, but I think you're spot on 100%. That would have been a much better trip for their Pan America. I think they're going to struggle with the Pan America either way. I don't think there's anything they can really do to change whatever the destiny of that bike is going to be. I don't think that is in their hands. I think they could produce the #1 performing adventure sport bike on the market, and they would still be at the bottom end of the market share.
I agree.
And I think it's just because of, again, the same thing that's helped them for so many years is hurting them here, and that's the culture.
Yeah.
If you spend time on these dual sports, those guys and girls typically do not have very fond opinions of Harley Davidsons and Harley Davidson riders. It's just a different culture. It's like
you're
that,
right.
it's like trying to convince Harley riders that Honda's a better motorcycle. I don't care how great that Honda is. We're never going to convince these Harley Davidson boys that the Honda's I don't care how great it is.
Nope.
The same how Harley is, it's never going to, in my opinion, it is never going to be a bike that's going to be socially accepted in that culture. But you're going to have, in my opinion, you're going to have guys like me who are Harley fans who are going to jump on the Pan America because it's Harley Davidson. We love Harley Davidson, and we're going to show up to 1 or 2 or 3 of these events, and we're going to realize nobody else likes that Harley Davidson, and nobody else believes in that brand, and that I'm kind of the ugly stepchild.
Yeah.
And both those guys and girls are going to trade in and get one of the popular brands, BMW or a Honda or whatever it may be. And now Harley just took an existing customer of theirs that was loyal enough to buy a bike outside of their own market and turned them on to another market where they just lost a customer.
Yeah, and you mentioned it this morning on your video, when it came out this morning. You said, they're going into a brand or a market that is already owned by the top 2 or 3 and trying to, all right, fine, they've come down in price a little bit compared to the live wire, was like ridiculous. And they've come in fair-ish in the market, but let's be honest, it's not proven in that side of life, and it's not gonna, no way on this earth is it gonna compare to the GS or the KTM or, the other ones, because they're proven, mate, and they've done it for years and years and years.
I think it's a tough call to compete with them. I think that the Pan America has some impressive stats and some impressive technology. I think it's going to be not an issue of how well the bike performs. I think it's going to be an issue of will that. I think.
Yeah, sorry, mate, you were just breaking up a little bit there. We didn't hear what you said.
I said I think that the Pan America has some impressive technology, and I think it's got some great stats. I don't think it comes down to is the bike worthy. I think it comes down to will the adventure market as a whole accept Harley Davidson? And I think the answer is no.
Yeah, it's like the ugly step kid, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah,
trying to break into a market like that's pretty tough. But
there
okay,
who ride Harleys, who will ride a Honda, and I'm one of them. But the vast majority of Harley riders don't really the Suzuki are that by many, not me, but many people in that culture as the stepchild. And I think Harley's going to be the step.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, like we said, we were discussing it last week. Let me ask you about your obviously your Challenger again. We've seen you taking off though the front, the fairing, and obviously putting those extended bars on and stuff like that. And that looked like an absolute nightmare of a job.
It really wasn't that bad, man. It really wasn't. there was a very good instructional video on YouTube, and I mean, I'm no mechanic. I'm not a good mechanic. I can change the oil and do the basics. I can change a tire on the side of the road and stuff like that. But by no means am I an electronic guy or anything like that. I was scared to video walk me through it. As long as you watch the video, it worked.
Well, that's it. As long as you've got a good video, man, you can't really go wrong, I suppose. So, what's the difference? Does it work? Is it a good difference or?
I love it. Sorry, I was just waving at.
That's all right, man.
Yeah, I love it. I love the posture of those T-bars. I love how they get me up. They get my back straight. I like the way the bars hold. It reminds me of like a BMX bike as a kid. I just think as a whole, I'm really a fan of this T-bar style handlebar, and I've tried all the different apes. I just think T-bars are where I'm most comfortable. I got a long torso. I'm 6'2", and my torso's long. So getting up and getting my shoulders up, and sitting up straight is just so much better than what I've found on a lot of the other bars. Yeah,
it does look a hell of a lot more comfortable because, like you said beforehand, you were sort of leaning forward-ish, and now you're up here straight level. So it's gonna be a hell of a ride. When you have you been out on it since?
I have, yeah. I was on it today, but unfortunately things just came up, and I got sidetracked. I had a dead battery on Ashley's bike, and we were trying to fill it today, and it just didn't pan out, as sometimes things don't.
Yeah, exactly, mate. So let me ask you, obviously, you do a lot for the veterans, as we said before. Do you think, the military and motorcycles go hand in hand? I think it's, a very much sort of brotherhood, the same as you get in the military?
Without doubt, man. Without doubt. I think it's the same standards. And that's why, you see so much like.
You're breaking up again, mate. You keep your video's fine. You just can't hear you.
I was just saying that, I think that's why you see so much military in the biker community, is because it's got very much the same energy, the same morals, the same standards.
Yeah, I totally agree. And obviously, being military myself, like I know it comes hand in hand. Most of the guys that I know ride a bike, and the guys that I've made friends with in Iraq and stuff like that, the American soldiers, all of the commonality of chat that we would talk about was always bikes, and it's massive. It's a massive culture. Let's be honest, that's where the MC world and stuff like that's where it originates from. So it definitely does, in my opinion. Definitely does. So let me ask you about Scooter. How's he doing? I know he's been a little bit poorly recently. So how's things?
Yeah, he's stable, man. Just old age. Just old age. He's on a lot of medication, and it's just life is different for him. You may have noticed, a lot more campground and a lot more off-roading and Jeeps and things like that in my videos. And it's just because I'm still looking for things I can do with my little buddy. Yeah. If the weather's not perfect, he just doesn't want to saddle that bike anymore. Used to love it. Didn't care. Zero degrees outside. He'd be stuffed down in my jacket. We'd be rolling. But years older, and he's not quite as patient as maybe he once was.
Yeah. And he went across the states with you 14. Like you said, he went the whole way, mate, of that ride, didn't he? Every single day.
Yeah, for sure. He lived on the road with me for we spent 5 years living on the road.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. You see a lot of guys doing that nowadays. I see there's a guy around by where I live, and he's got a Labrador on the back of this bike, and I'm like, mate, come on. You know what I mean? Get a trike or something, have a Labrador, but not on the back of an electric glide or whatever it was. But yeah, big, huge ginger thing on the back of a bike. It's crazy. So what's next? What's next for Adam Sandoval? And what have you got planned, mate? With anything big coming up, or can you not tell us, or what?
I got some good stuff coming up. Doing a lot of rallies and events at the campground here at the KRiver has been nice to add to my year, because I still get to be in the scene and a little bit of to be a little familiar with your home, to be home. Yeah. So that's nice. So we got, like you said, the Stubborn American, and I do 4th of July here, and I do some events for like Easter and things like that, which I really like. But I'm going to be obviously at Sturgis this year. I'm doing one thing that's really cool this year. The end of October, I'm doing a thing called the High Seas Rally. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this.
No.
It is a motorcycle. The concept is a motorcycle rally on a cruise ship. And it's a 7-day cruise all through. I think you end up in like the Dominican and the Bahamas. And it's everything that a rally would be. You got bike builders, you got vendors, you got everything you'd expect, biker games and different types of entertainment, but it's all on this cruise ship going from island to island. And I guess it sells out every year. I didn't know about this.
That sounds amazing, man.
It really is. They got cash games and all this other stuff. So they did a thing where they said, where they came to me and they said, hey, listen, if you will put together a group that would come on the ship with you, for everybody that gets a cabin, we'll give $50 to their charity of choice if they do it under your name, and we will pay you $200. And I said, well, that's really awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much. I'm like, I'm sure I can get some friends to come together this. But instead of me taking the $200, I said, can I just use it to buy rooms and tickets for veterans and just take a bunch of veterans for free on this trip? And he said, yeah. He's like, if that's what you want to do with your money, it's your money. I said, well, that's what I'm doing. So I haven't announced all the details yet. It'll be on my website. But anybody who wants to join me on this cruise, for everybody who joins, we're going to put $200 into a pot, and we're going to buy veterans free tickets to come out and enjoy the high seas rally.
Mate, that sounds fantastic. And again, the veterans thing is phenomenal, mate. I appreciate what you do for the vets, mate. And that sounds like an absolute, really, really cool place. And obviously, beer and cruise ships and bikes and stuff doesn't really mix. I would imagine there's going to be a lot of sick bikers.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I just never would have thought of it. It seemed very odd to me when I first heard it. And then I started looking into it, checking out pictures of past years. And I was like, well, this is a damn party. And
Wow.
I'm like, awesome. And so now I'm super excited. So, at first I didn't connect the two in my head, but now I'm just over the moon with it. I can't wait.
It's going to be. Is she going? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good, mate. I suppose it's going to be like Pirates of the Caribbean on steroids, but like really bad, really good. Sorry, really. It sounds amazing. It really does. So, mate, just obviously we mentioned at the beginning of the show, just to get some people on and ask you some questions. I know you sort of short of time and what have you, mate. So, that's all I had to ask you, mate. And I said that's all I had to. I've got 1,000 questions for you, but I want to get everybody else on, mate. So, if it's all right with you, we'll get some guys in and they can ask you, whatever. Is it anything off limits that you don't want to be asked about, or are you cool with anything?
I'm an open book.
Cool. I think we seen your two Indians interview the other day. That was. That was an interesting interview, man. And fair play, mate. You were 100%. What's the word? Truthful.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just come to that. I mean, I just don't. It's a delicate climate out there.
Yeah.
Especially on the internet. But at the end of the day, man, I just have to be honest. And when I think people are listening to my opinions and following them, I feel responsible. And then sometimes I have to be honest, even when I don't want to be.
Yeah. Fair play, mate. You were to the point and honest and truthful. So I think you got a lot of respect for that, mate. There's a lot of people who speak their mind on the internet, and especially the sort of limelight that you've got, mate. And fair play. So let's get some guys in who want to ask you some questions. So guys, I have chucked the link in the side chat there. So now's your time to come and ask Adam anything you want. So the link is right there. I will put it in again so you guys can come in. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Boom. They're all coming in. All right, so the first guy that we're going to get on is Mr. Toby Northern. Let's get him in. Toby.
What's going on?
How you doing, mate? Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Stubborn American himself. What's going on?
What's happening, brother?
So over to you, bud.
The only question I had was, so I saw your map from watching your video of all the places you've been, and I noticed a little tick mark was missing up in the Northeast. Did you ever was Plurridge Harley Davidson around, the one up in Maine?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, we went to there on a. Go ahead.
That map was very much not by the highway, by the road, by the town. It was by the pass across the country. We went like this, and then we went like this, and then we went like this. It wasn't the actual mapped route.
Okay. Yeah, Plurridge is definitely not along any major route.
Yeah. The map was a little vague for sure.
That's my only question for the moment.
Rock
Cool.
and roll.
All right, mate. Well, I'll bring. Oh. Say again.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, you too.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. I'll kick you out, mate, as it were, and then we'll get the next guy in. Unless you want to hang around, it's entirely up to you.
You're the host. Up to you.
All right, let's have a party. Let's keep everyone in. Mr. Deadnote, how are you?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Very good, mate. Very good. You've got a couple of questions for Adam?
I do, but I want to start off first with the high seas rallies. I've had some friends do them years ago. They love them. They had nothing good things to say. They just were never able to get tickets again because it sells out so fast.
Yeah.
But I myself, still serving member for another 23 days. And then I retire after 31 years of service.
Heck yeah, man.
But
Brother.
I'm up on the east coast of Canada, and we've been doing I've been a volunteer charity fundraiser event guy for years, and we do a cross Canada event. Our challenge is dealerships and things like that are so much further apart, and because we just don't have the people up here like you have down there. Indian does come on board to help us out. They've actually given us a motorcycle and shipped it to the East Coast for a veteran to ride to the West Coast, 9,000 kilometers. So India's been good to us there, and we do appreciate that. So my question actually is, how often have you ever ridden in Canada, and when would you like to come up?
I have not technically ridden in Canada. I almost rode in Canada, but I was able to turn around fast enough. So I was on my world record ride actually up in Maine, and I missed the last exit in America, and I went straight to customs. And I was trying to break the Guinness Book World Record for the most miles in a single trip in a single trip in a single country. And if I would have left over that border to Canada, it would have stopped clocking my miles. I was in full panic mode, and I had nowhere to turn around. So I turned around in a road. It said, "Do not enter." And I was in the middle of customs. I'm like, dude, if I cross this border, I'm done. So I just took a left and went down it anyhow. And it ended up being okay. They yelled at me, and I got in a little bit of trouble, but nothing serious. And I got back. So that's the closest I've ever come to riding in Canada. But I would absolutely love to run Canada, man. Y'all have. I've seen the videos. I've seen the pictures. It's definitely on my list.
Yeah, we do an event every August called the Rolling Barrage. We go coast to coast as a rally. Takes about 21 days, and it starts on the East Coast, goes to the West Coast, and people can jump on, jump off, and go all the way across. And you can hit places like the Cabot Trail in Cape Breton, which is basically a big island where you got a loop around it. So I definitely have to find a way to get you up here to do some Canadian rides.
Heck yeah, man. I am down to ride Canada, no doubt about it.
Well, you've got somewhere to stay in Alberta, Adam. I'll put you up, mate. No problem. And I'm only 20 minutes from the Rockies, mate. So
I'm on the East Coast, so.
All right. We're building a trip quick.
So really, if you haven't ridden in Canada, well, you're missing a big chunk of it. Do you follow any of the other charity event riders like Ricky Rackman, who does like Ricky's Ride? He's did one for Stop Soldier Suicide a few years ago.
Yeah, I've done a few videos with Ricky. Ricky's a good dude, man. I really like him. Old MTV star. I follow a few people.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him up here too.
Yeah, good dude, man. You talk to him, you tell him, hey.
Sounds good. That's all I got, Scoushing. That's
all right, man. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. All right, let's get another guest on who's been itching to ask you a few questions, mate. One of your world record guys who attended the rally, mate. Oh, sorry, the world record is the beard, the guy with the best beard on the planet.
What's going on, Adam?
What's happening, brother? How you?
I'm doing good, man. I had to pop on and say hi. I had a couple other opportunities to meet you, and it didn't pan out. I was up in Tremont and Harley when you gave away the trike to the disabled vet. And everybody and their brother was trying to talk to you, and I tried to get over to talk to you, and then you were grabbing lunch, and I didn't want to bother you. So didn't get to talk to you there. And then, obviously down at the World Record Ride, a lot going on. And we were at the KRiver for the party at night, but we had to be up early the next day to head back to Jersey. And so I didn't get to talk to you there. So I just wanted to get on and say what's up. Couple easy questions, I guess. One, obviously you've done so much already. Like you said earlier, East Coast to West Coast, umpteen times, north to south, been to all the rallies, raised tons of money, giving away bikes. What do you see right now is kind of the vision for your channel? Are you going to just continue to do charity stuff, or is there something new you're trying to do with your channel?
Yeah, great question. I think, yes, I'll always be doing charity on my channel. I think the difficult part with charity, and this is something I kind of learned over the years, and it's kind of the hard way, is although people care about charity, they don't want it in their face 24/7. So I went through stints where every video was about the military and was about veterans and about veterans charity. And I watched the viewership start to decline. So I learned real quick that what people want to see is great roads. They want to see great places to go. They want to see things like this. So what I do now, and then that makes the viewership go up. But just because they want to see that stuff doesn't mean they don't care about charity. So once I get viewers in, then I mention, hey, while everybody's watching, guess what? Let's do something for veterans. Or hey, while everybody's watching, let's not forget our veterans need attention. And I use that to try to make the message more impactful. As far as my channel, you know, my channel is in a transition phase. There's no two ways about it. Motorcycles will always be a major part of my channel, but my channel has become and is becoming slowly more of a lifestyle, more of a chasing your dreams, more of doing the things you enjoy and finding ways to do good with that. So it'll always be about doing good for charity. I'm working on some really clever ways to do some stuff with Jeeps to help veterans. You know, the stuff here at the campground, you know, I may be just doing a video, you know, playing with my animals, but at the end of the day, I try to remind everybody that, hey, this is free for veterans. They can come here and do the same thing. So keeping that veteran cause and keeping that veteran motivation is very important to me. But I've learned to be successful at it. You have to know when to make it the forefront and when to just kind of build and ramp and get the attention.
Right. That's awesome. Also, are you still into the long distance rides? I know you were beat up with the shoulders and stuff. Is this something you still like to do, or are you kind of past, you know, putting those huge miles down?
No, I still like the long distance rides. I still
Mexico.
Yeah, that was
a good run. You know, but then again, there I trailered to California to ride Mexico because I want Jeep stuff between here and there. So it's not that I'm against or trying to phase out of long distance riding. It's just, you know, when you go, you know, 2,000 miles west across the country, and you've got multiple things you want to do over there, you try to figure out a way to be able to do them all, right? Yeah. So I wanted to be able to ride off road. I wanted to be able to ride Mexico. I've already ridden from here to California 10 times. So doing that long distance ride down Highway 10 or down Interstate 10 or down 40 or, you know, a lot of these rides that I've done a bunch. Yeah, sometimes the excitement of riding those roads again isn't as big as maybe it would have been the first or second or third time. If I have time to stop in and hit different cities and hit different towns and see different things and ride with different people, then that changes it a little bit. But in all honesty, right now I'm looking for new long distance rides. I'm looking to do other countries. I'm looking to do, you know, a lot of South America this year and next year. I'm looking to do Canada, hopefully soon. I've been talking to some people in Australia. So I'm looking to do more outside of the country and not just in America, because I just done a lot of the rides here so many times, and you can only make creative videos showing the Blue Ridge Parkway so many times until you show everybody the entire Blue Ridge Parkway. And create videos is obviously a big part of what fuels not only my charity but my campground and my own life. So you know, making content is important.
Speaking of the Blue Ridge Parkway, any plans to get back to the East Coast anytime soon?
You know, I'm a fall East Coast guy. I love East Coast in the fall. So chances are this fall I will be up on the East Coast just because I wasn't last fall.
Awesome. Well, listen, I don't want to take up all your time. Thanks so much for all the stuff you do for the veterans. I'm an Army brat. My dad was in the Army. So I really appreciate everything you do. And also, I think that's something I have in common with you. I don't ever say it on our Baggers and Brews videos, but not serving is probably one of my biggest regrets too. So I got that in common with you. So thank you for everything you do.
Hey, brother, all we can do is serve those who served and make peace with you, brother.
Yep. Hey, Stevie, man, thanks for putting on a great show, man. I'm going to bounce out and let you guys get on to some other people.
No worries, buddy. Thanks for coming in, mate. Cheers. I'll speak to you
later.
See you, pal. All right, so that was Bear from Baggers and Brews, obviously the beard. I'll get Mr. Revbomb in from the UK. Revbomb.
Hey, you guys. Just a quick question from Adam. Obviously, you do a lot for the vets and everything. Do you ever have days where you just think, F it, I've had enough? What gives you the inspiration just to pick yourself up, get you back on your feet and just drive a little bit harder?
Yeah, I mean, I've had days where I've said "F it" to riding conditions. You know, when you're 5 days straight riding in rain, and you're putting on wet clothes in the morning just to ride rain again, and you know you're going to be in rain all day, or the cold, riding 10-degree weather for 400 miles, and middle of that, you start to have regret and to say, what am I doing? But as far as the veterans charity, no. I think the hardest part for the veterans charity that I have, the only struggle I've had when it comes to charity is probably finding a way to balance being okay with making a life and a future for myself and still doing charity work. It's almost like I feel sometimes, and this is just kind of some raw stuff, but sometimes it feels like because I've done and dedicated so much time to charity that people don't think I have a right to try to do something for myself or to create a family for myself. And sometimes that gets frustrating. People be like, "Oh, you got a new motorcycle. How many veterans could have you fed with that new motorcycle?" And it's like, well,
come on, man.
I mean, that's true. But at some point, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. And
Exactly.
I want to have a future, and I still want to take care of the people I love in my life. And so that I would say is probably the biggest struggle I've ever had with charity, is just people not understanding that just because I do a lot of charity doesn't mean I'm not entitled to my own life. And the fact is that the more success I have, the more charity I do. This campground has done really years. We were able to build another cabin for veterans to stay in for free, and so I know in my heart that the more I grow, the more I'm going to give. But sometimes people don't see that.
That's
exactly. Big up to you, and thank you very much for the question. Much appreciated.
Cheers, mate. See you later.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah, I must admit, you must take some flack, mate. And I mean, I seen you taking a little bit of flack this morning on your new video, from the diehard Harley geezers across the planet. But yeah, you must take some amount of flack, and I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. It makes that's just social media, I suppose.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's keyboards, it's internet, it's personalities, and it usually doesn't get me down.
Yeah.
The only thing that people say all kinds of nasty stuff. I think the only thing that gets me is when I feel like I've given a really good year to helping people, and then someone tells me I didn't give enough.
Yeah, that's not on one. It is. Yeah, there's so many people out there who are just what's the best way to put it? Assholes, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, moving on. We'll get the first lady on the show tonight. It's Robin, the lady biker. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Hi.
How you doing, Adam?
Hey, Robin.
Okay, question I have is about KRiver. Actually, I have two, and they go together. One is, what is the part about running the campground that just feeds your heart and your soul? And then the other part of it was, what was the most challenging thing to getting it set up?
So I think the campground is a good fit for me because living on the road for those 5 years, I was with new people every day, and I was in new towns every day. And, and much different than just living on the road for 5 years. I'm going to stay in this town for a month and work a little job, get up a little money, go to that town. When you're moving every single day, you are with, hundreds of people every single day that are new. And I think that's what really drew me to the campground, was the fact that I would have new people and I'd still have that kind of spontaneity and that energy. The thought of just going back and staying in one city was hard for me to comprehend. I think what really makes my heart tick with it is the putting veterans up. I mean, it's just nothing that's more gratifying. I really it was a dream I had to do something like this, because I always thought, how can I give back after I'm done riding every day for charity? How can I still give back every day? And this is a way that I found to do that. So that really satisfies my soul that way. And together, the hardest part for me is probably, man, it hasn't been, I mean, it's a lot of work, but it hasn't been hard. It's been fun, and it's been exciting, I've got such a great team, and they carry me. I mean, carry me so much. I could do a whole episode just on how they carry me. I could never do it without them. But the difficult part, I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't have a good answer for you. I really am happy.
Fair enough.
I'm happy with it all the way around. I really am. You know, you go to a hotel and 5 people pack in a 6-foot elevator and nobody talks to each other.
Yeah.
You each get out on your aisle and you go to your room and you unlock your door and you wonder if they're watching you walk in your door, and you walk in your door, and that's the end of it. At a campground, everybody you pass, hello, where are you from? What are you doing? What's your, it's more of an interaction. I just love it.
Yeah, I know we're contemplating doing something on a very small scale here in California and focusing it towards moto campers. You know, people are just on the road and for just that reason. And so it was curious to find out what major roadblocks or challenges you run up against.
You know, I think licensing, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
Probably you'll have more of that than I have here. If I had to guess, you know, things are pretty laid back in the hills of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I think, you know, the government aspect of it, but that's in anything. And, you know, staffing, I could see being a big hurdle. I am just very blessed. I've got a lot of people who have followed me online and who believe in what we do here, and they've seen it now firsthand. So they're committed.
Cool.
You know, they've seen the change happen in veterans. They've seen the good and the things that come out of this. And so they're committed. So I've just got a very loyal, committed staff. And if I didn't have them, that would more than likely be my number one challenge.
I could see that.
It's always good to have a good team around you.
Oh, yeah.
You got
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Robin.
Thanks, Robin. Take it easy. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching the show. Speak to you later. Bye-bye. So next up for you, mate, is Larry, and I think he's all the way in California.
Yes,
Larry.
I am. How you doing, Adam? Scouse?
Hey, mate. All right.
I'm just hanging out. I don't really have a question other than I just wanted to say thank you to Adam for everything you do for our military. I've picked you up a few years ago. I didn't ride a bike for 35 years. You are, when I picked up your channel, and you were here in Southern California at the time when you were giving away bikes and stuff. But I was binge watching your Scootin' America at the time. And at the end of every single 12-minute video, you had your line, you know, life is short, buy the damn motorcycle.
Amen, man.
So I got off my ass and bought the damn motorcycle.
Right.
But I didn't get a chance. I wanted to go to Bring It Home, but I hadn't been riding that long. That was a long trip. Didn't do it. But I did get one trip from here to San Antonio to visit my son and grandkids. Wonderful. I had a blast. Thank you. Because that was right, you know, this COVID stuff and family and everything. And I just said, you know what? I don't know if I can even make this ride because I've never done a ride like this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Man, I can't hear stories like that, man. That is fuel for me. And those are the stories I love to hear, man. So congratulations on staying stubborn, following, you know, what you felt you need to do and seeing it through, man. That is too awesome. And as far as coming here for the Bring It Home and stuff, man, hey, sometimes things don't work out, but we are here every October, so maybe we'll see you one of these Octobers. You can make the ride.
I'd love to come up there with my son and daughter-in-law. Of course, they could stay in the veteran section. I can't, but
me, Larry, I can't either. So we're in the same.
Yeah, you know, my son, he's my hero. You know, and I love him to death. You know, I spent 2 weeks down there in San Antonio with my grandkids, and I got to ride with my son for the first time. Got to ride with my daughter-in-law for the first time. And it was just awesome. I had a great time. And if for years I wanted to get back on the bike, and I found you because I made up my mind to get back on the bike, and I went on YouTube. Never did YouTube before, Facebook, any of that stuff, looking for instructions on, just to refresh my memory, because I knew I was in the market for the bike. And that's when I found your videos. Started seeing Sturgis videos, and then I found Scoot in America. You have such a big heart. What you do, not just in your community, I see what you do with your community and people in general. My hat's off to you. You don't have to be, and your KRiver crew proves that you don't have to be blood to be family.
That's right, baby.
You got a big family. You got a great family too. Okay, you got a great big heart.
Well,
that's
thanks,
all,
Larry. Thanks very much, mate, and thank you for coming on. Obviously, asking Adam the questions. Cheers, pal. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, take it easy,
All right,
guys.
man. Cheers, buddy. Adam, have you got time for five more questions? Is that good for you, bud?
So, see if I can shake someone down here. I got to get this phone plugged in. It might die on me, but let's rattle them off.
All right, mate. All right. So next up, we got a man from Scotland. Hopefully, he'll be able to understand what the hell he's saying. Not many people can. Let's get him on anyway. Zedhead, how you doing?
Not bad, brother. How you doing?
Good, mate. Good. You got a question for Adam?
Yes, I do. Adam, where I stay is just outside Glasgow in Scotland. We have a very, very big organisation called Erskine Hospital. I know the Military Biker has attachments to it with a comrade that is currently in there. It's a big charity organisation. And my question to you is, and I don't want it to be political, but it's like, do you not think our government should be doing more for the ex-servicemen than they are just now?
I mean, the answer is yes. I mean, I'm also not a very political person, but I don't think that's political. I think that's just good common sense. I think that our veterans do need a lot more. I mean, we're losing veterans out there every day. These men and women are dealing with wounds that you can't always see and you can't always identify. It's not a limp going into a store. And I think that we owe these men and women a debt, and letting them be in a mental state or in that gray area. I like to say it's the gray area. If they're in a negative situation and there's bad things happening and there's need for action, they are autopilot and they can make it happen.
Yeah.
And you get in the good area, the white, where it's just real, everything's happy and lovey and everything's going real great. They're fine. They can deal with that. But when it's in between, it's that gray area when there's nothing exciting happening on positive or negative, that a lot of them start to fight their own demons, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that our government gives as much as we possibly. I don't think we could give enough. To answer your,
no.
I don't think we could give enough.
That's very, very true. It's very, very true. Steve, is it okay if I just ask one more question that's like
absolutely, mate, go on.
Relevant to him as well? It's like, Adam, Harley Davidson announced its first chief electric vehicle officer. What's your thoughts on that?
I guess I don't know enough about it to give an educated opinion. I would have to maybe learn a little bit more of what that even really means.
I don't think they know what it means.
No.
It's hard to tell. I don't know what it means, but I will say that I do think electric's a good thing, and I think it's definitely has its place for the future. I think that our youth, a lot of them are learning to ride on electric bikes, and when they turn 20, I think they're going to find probably some comfort in that, and it's going to be a growing market. But I think it's got a long ways to go before it's mainstream for sure.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Listen, thank you very much for everything that you're doing, Adam. I really appreciate you coming on as well. Stevie, fantastic live stream, buddy.
Cheers, pal.
Take care.
Appreciate it. All right, man. Thanks, Ed. See you later.
Thank you. Cheers.
Drink that, get that Bucky and Iron Brew down you. Next up is a guy that you actually know, a guy that you've filmed with before, Mr. Full Throttle Hog. Bonsoir, monsieur.
Hey.
What's happening?
How you doing, Adam?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Good. Hey, just real quick, this is more of a plug than a question for you. Some things that I mean, ever since, filming with you and working, out there in the desert, that people don't really understand about you. You are truly probably one of the busiest guys that I have ever met. And I think it's important. There's a lot of people on here that are either vloggers or moto vloggers or into that thing. And what impressed me the most, one, is you are the same person off camera that you are. I get that question probably more than anything. More DMs came in from our experience as what you were really like. And it was really cool because you are the same guy, you know, even off camera. And it was just us chilling around the campfire. You could have easily said, hey, I'm just going to be me. And you were you, and it's the same kind of person. But what impressed me the most is that you make so much time for your fan base and your followers. You were up at the campfire, restoking the fire in the morning, up probably the last person to go to bed, and just kind of explain to everybody the importance of just keeping up with that fan base and how you have managed to do that, because it's commendable. And you really, you know, that's kudos to you, man.
Wow. Thank you for the compliment. I'm humbled. I try to be as just real as I can on camera and off camera, and let it be what it is. And those who like me, and those who don't. I think it's important to take care of your audience, man. I mean, these people are taking times out of their day to listen to what I have to say and to watch my adventures. And, I think the least I can do is always find time to give back to them. So thank you for noticing it, and thank you for sharing the word. And, thank you for sharing the kind words to the people that ask. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will catch you soon out at the KRiver. Stevie, great live stream.
Thanks, pal. Speak to you soon. Take it easy, bud. See you, mate. All right, couple more guys. He's a good bloke. He is a good bloke. Full throttle hog. You're top man. All right, another guy from UK, if that's okay, mate. A guy called Adamoto. Ad, how you doing?
How's it going, guys? How are we doing?
Good, mate. I believe Adam's one of your favourite channels, mate, to watch.
Most definitely. I just want to say, big, nice effort with all your work that you're doing, mate. Absolute props to you, sir. So my question would be, so obviously being in the UK, massively always looked forward to coming to the US to ride. Where would you say would be like a number one go? Like if you could say to one person, you've got to go and ride this road in this area in the US, where would it be?
Oh man. Well, from what I've seen, riding up there. So, my initial go would be, Northwest. The Northwest to me is probably the most beautiful riding in America. But that's probably very similar to what a lot of Canada's like. So, if you're looking for diversity, maybe Utah, Moab, the Red Rock area, that's a very unique, beautiful riding area that has a very strong motorcycle culture. If you had to pick one state, I would probably say Arizona, because got the diversity. You've got deserts, you've got mountains, you've got forests, you've got the Grand Canyon. There's just a lot there to see. Spend months just riding Arizona, and the diversity there is just beautiful.
Yeah, pretty sold on that. That sounds amazing. I have to actually say, after watching, I've passed my bike test and have a bike for just turned a year now. And one of the big things that for me when I did it was I was watching one of your older videos. It's like, just stop wasting your cent. Just go out and buy the damn bike. And I was like, what? I put it off for years and years and years, and I went out and did it. And I was like, so props to you, sir. That gave me the push I need.
Glad to hear it. That makes my day to hear stuff like that. So thank you.
Brilliant.
Good work. Good work tonight, Scouts. Top man.
Thanks, man.
Dive in because I'm having troubles. I'm having to do this on my phone, so I'll let somebody else.
All right, mate. No worries. Pay your bill, you tight ass. See you later, bud. Take it easy. So, Toby has got another question for you, mate. If that's okay, quickly. Toby, you're on mute, bud.
Yep.
There you go.
Thanks for having me back again. Patience. So 2 questions. One is also kind of a plug. I was watching and really, really thanking you and respecting you for doing the disabled veterans cabin. Is that finished yet?
Man, it is like we were just doing the landscaping this morning. It is right there. I'm going to say next week. I could probably crack it, but I got a couple more pictures I want to hang and just some very minor stuff. But I think next week it's going to crack.
I saw I was watching the one that you did for that, and that one video that you had some frustrations, I'll just call them that, for some stuff that kind of didn't go exactly as planned. So thanks for doing that disabled veterans cabin. I got some many friends who are disabled, and that hopefully they'll be able to take incredible advantage of that. The second question I have is kind of a question and a plug. So the question is, have you heard about the World Record Poker Run? And number two would be, any chances or plans of you going on it?
I have. I don't think I'll be attending, but I have indeed heard about it.
All right. Well, anybody comes across there, it's biking, please do spread the word, and we'd love to see you there and see anybody there.
Yeah,
any of the leftover benefits and charity down.org.
Absolutely.
Right.
You're part of that.
Yes, yeah, part of the crew there, but we're the anything coming up above the cost, which they're already past that, is going to go to a charity called bikerdown.org.
Oh, they decided to go with Biker Down. I know there were some negotiations going on about where the money was going to go, and that was kind of what got me got me kind of out of it a little bit, because I heard of some of the the discussions. But Biker Down is a great organization, and that's a great organization to support. So good for y'all for coming to that decision.
All right, man. Toby, that you, bud?
Thank you.
No worries,
appreciate
mate.
it. Steve, thank you for this. And Adam, appreciate you taking the questions.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, man. Thanks, buddy. See you later. All right, let's get one more in, mate. One last guy, and then we'll close it down. If that's okay with you?
Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, how you doing, Adam?
How's it going, brother?
Not bad. See, I'm sporting the same flag as this knob. We actually met on YouTube motovlogging. It turns out we only live 3 blocks apart.
How about that?
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good, because as soon as I find out we only live 3 blocks apart, I'm actually moving.
Yeah, prick. So actually, Adam, just quickly, I found you because I have an interest in electric bikes, and I don't know if you know, Canada made a quite a whizzy new electric bike that stomped the world. But I saw your video of the I think you did the I'm having a brain fart. What, Zero? Yeah. So do you still have that bike?
I do not.
Really?
No. Nope.
Okay. What did you think?
I think they're incredibly impressive pieces of machinery. I think the performance is absolutely insane. I think that the balance is really well. I think electric is indeed the future. I mean, I know a lot of guys don't want to hear that, but I got to be honest. I think it is the future. And I think it's got a ways to go. I think the range becomes an issue.
For sure.
For around town or a short commuter or just a play toy, it's amazing.
So on the one where you and your buddy built it, I think you're actually still hurt then. You built it in your garage there, and he came back and his arm was all ratched. Did he crash it out back there?
Did he?
Yeah. I thought so. Yeah.
I actually have it on video, but I got this thing where I don't I try not to make people look bad. So if you're embarrassed, or if I think you're going to be embarrassed, I just don't put it out.
Oh, he didn't hurt himself too bad by the looks of it.
I think maybe his ego a little bit more, his pride a little bit, bike out of the box, and he's the first rider, and he loops it on the, I told him to take that out of ecom and put it in sport mode, and that's what did it on him.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And I didn't click right away. There's a million channels out there, and I've only been doing the motovlogging thing for a year. So, you're finding more and more guys like yourself that put out really good content. And so that was the first thing I ever saw of yours. And when I was researching to do my video for the Damon Electric made in Canada here. So, but thanks for that. So I kind of took your video, and it inspired me to build my video on the Damon. So thanks.
How it's supposed to work, man. I just love how much the cycle YouTubing, social media community has grown. Just so many more guys doing it, so many cool channels. Even doing the live feeds like we're doing right now. I mean, just so much more content around this. And I think all of it's good.
So so that's all I had. It was nice to meet you, Adam. Thanks for waiting for me here.
All right, pal. I'll see you soon.
Yep. Take care.
See you, mate. Thank you. All right, mate. Well, listen, I personally just want to say thank you for the time that you've given to coming on the show, mate. And it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. And we've been talking for a while and trying to organise it, and I'm glad that it's finally come off, mate. And I want to thank you personally for everything that you do for veterans, and obviously coming on the show, mate. I can't thank you enough. I really can't. And hopefully one day I'll be able to ride my Sportster down to Oklahoma and come visit you at the KRiver Campground, and we can have a pint or a beer, and we can have a chat, mate, and meet in person.
I would absolutely love that. And listen, man, you can absolutely make this trip on your Sportster. You just got to stay stubborn, man. It's gonna have
exactly,
but you can definitely do it.
Well, I'll be getting a Challenger anyway, so it's all good.
There you go.
Well, listen, man. Yeah, they are a badass bike. They are indeed. Well, mate, again, thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of your weekend, and hope we bump into each other in the future, mate. I appreciate it.
I would look forward to that. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
All right, bro. Thank you. Take it easy, bud.
All right.
See you, man. Bye, mate. Bye. So there you go, guys. Mr. Adam Sandoval, an absolute legend, the king of the motor vloggers, world record holder, an all-round good guy. So I just want to say thank you all that have been watching throughout the whole live stream so far. I hope you enjoyed it. Before you go, just give it a quick thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. Helps the channel or helps the video grow. And if you wouldn't mind sharing it around the world, then please do so. Help my channel grow and whatever. But I'm not all about me, as you've just seen. So listen, guys, I want to say thank you again to Adam. It's been brilliant to have him on. Open book, as he said. And, I'm glad you guys got to come on and ask him some questions. So hopefully I haven't had time to obviously say thank you to everybody I've seen in the side chat, but I do appreciate everybody that's coming in and out. I've seen people coming in and going and so forth. So again, thanks guys, appreciate it. Yeah, that's me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully in a couple of weeks. All right, take it easy, have a wonderful weekend, and remember, you'll never walk alone.